So the traditional life model teaches us that we need to work really hard and sacrifice while we're young so that by the time we turn 65, we can build up this nest egg and retire comfortably.
All this money, but nothing to spend it on.
And honestly, that's a good model for a lot of people. They work hard at a regular job, they get a pension, they get a 401k, and by the time they're 65, they're ready to make that big step. But if you're anything like me, there's something pushing you to push back that date from 65 to 55, 45, or even 35. So this video is going to go over my current plan at the age of 31 to retire at the age of 35. Two caveats: I've been working on this since I'm 27, and the second thing is I am not a financial expert in any way, shape, or form. Now, there's two primary ways that I plan on doing this. The first one is through building an online business that generates a lot of income on the side. Basically, it allows me to stop trading time for money, which is going to be essential for me to be able to retire 30 years earlier. The second thing I'm going to do is take the profits from this online business and hopefully invest them in smart investments that make sense for the retirement plan that I'm trying to build here. So let's talk about the online business and then we'll move on to what we're doing with the money. So I always encourage people to start businesses, but the business model that I use I think is particularly effective for someone that's trying to break away from the rat race and potentially get that retirement date up. And that's using an online business that kind of focuses on passive income and focuses on bringing in revenue while I'm not actively working. So the way I do that is through places like YouTube, what you're watching right now. You can see here on this YouTube channel, I've made about $3,600 in the last 28 days or the last month. So $3,600 a month in this YouTube channel, and that's just from ads. Now, the really cool thing about this is that most of this money right here is not coming from the last few videos I put out. Most of that money is coming from videos like this one right here, or even this one right here, where I made the video years ago and it's still getting a significant number of views. So YouTube is this awesome platform where you can create a literal digital real estate empire and you can be making money from work you did years ago. And it also grows exponentially because I'm making about $3,600 a month off all of my old videos, and that means that each new video I build continues to add to that amount that I make each month. So next month it'll probably be $3,800 or $4,000, and it continues to go up from there as I continue to add videos to this real estate empire right here. You can see right here at the bottom of the screen, I've put out, according to YouTube at least, about 130 videos. So that's 130 videos in my digital real estate empire. And the goal is to get that to up to about 300 videos, bringing in closer to $10,000 every single month by the time I'm 35. Now let me show you the reason that I'm choosing this route for my online business. You can see on here on this screen, this is another channel that I run that I honestly haven't put out much content in the past 2 or 3 years. I put in maybe 3 to 4 videos in the last few years. But you can see here that in terms of my revenue here, I'm still bringing in about $990 every month. You can see this month in particular was pretty good, but I'm averaging about $600 to $1,000 every single month off this old channel. This means that hopefully when I retire at 35, I've already got 3 or 4 different channels that are all running effectively and can continue to bring in money for 3 to 5 years after that retirement date. Let's talk about investing. So I'm going to go over the 3 different investments that I'm making right now and how I'm getting involved in them and kind of show you who I'm working with on these. The first one is real estate, and the company I use for all my real estate is called DFY Real Estate. They're based in Utah, and they have been incredible to deal with. So we've purchased 3 properties through them and are planning on purchasing 3 more. And what DFY Real Estate does is they find good real estate investments for you. They do all the rehab, they get the property management set up, they get the loan set up, they do everything so that you can basically just sign a paper at the end and put down a down payment, and they're almost always profitable homes. So you can see here, one of the ones that we bought in Indianapolis, we told Done For You Real Estate that we were ready to go. They sent us, within a few weeks, this. It's called a pro forma, and it basically gave us numbers and broke down numbers and said, we assume that this, based on all these numbers, will be how much you make every single month, each year off of this investment. You can see here about $430, $350, $370, $400, and they've come pretty close to this on every single estimate they've given us so far. Now, this is awesome because there's no work involved in finding the property or finding the deal. They do all that. There's no work involved in running numbers or rehab. They do all that. And then you can see here, I've got property management built in, so there's no work along the way finding tenants and managing tenants. They do all of that. So essentially what's happening here is I am being paid $400 every single month just to build up an asset that will be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in 20 to 30 years. Now the caveat is I did have to put down a down payment for each of these houses. This is very traditional real estate investing, but if you've got some money to put down on something like this, It has been incredible to deal with, and we continue to grow our rental portfolio almost on autopilot. Just every time we have enough money, we put the money into these houses. The second way is the stock market, is traditional 401ks and things like that. Now I'm doing it in a unique way because traditional entrepreneurs like me struggle because we often don't have company matches and all these different things that regular employees get, and so we don't have as many options. But what I have is what's called a solo 401k. And what that means is I've created my own company that does have a 401k for me. This means instead of the $5,000 or $6,000 traditional limit that you get with an IRA, I can actually create a 401k and match it with my own company. And you can see here the limits come closer to $57,000, $58,000, which means if I can make $57,000 to $58,000, I can put all of that into an IRA. And better yet, it's a Roth IRA where I know I can be safe from taxes in the future. Now, the caveat with this one is obviously I can't pull out the money anytime soon, so this is kind of a backup plan. Now, the goal with this, this is a retirement calculator I've got on the side here. The goal is to have about $180,000 in this retirement plan by the time I turn 35, which we're on track to do right now. And then you can see right here, if I retired at 60 with that initial $180,000 investment, assuming that it was all in stocks, and I'm getting about an 8% return, which is 4% less than the historical average of the S&P 500. Making all those assumptions, I will have $1.3 million by the time I'm 60, which is a good safe nest egg, if all else fails. The third investment in our portfolio is crypto. I'm a huge believer in crypto. You can see I believe in other things as well, but a majority of our money right now is getting pumped into crypto. And I would encourage anyone watching to get involved in this in some way, shape, or form. If you've only heard of Bitcoin, there are thousands of other coins out there, and the concept of blockchain, the technology behind Bitcoin is going to change the world in the next 5 to 10 years. And so a lot of our money is trying to find those opportunities. There's 3 primary cryptocurrencies in our portfolio right now. We've got Ethereum, which is it's basically what runs in the background of a ton of different cryptocurrencies out there right now. So if crypto does really well, there's a good chance that Ethereum does well. The other one is called Chainlink. This is simply a blockchain or a crypto that hopes to connect the real world with cryptocurrency and blockchain in the future. Not to go into details, but this is one of our favorite ones, and we think there's a ton of potential if crypto explodes for Chainlink to explode. And then the last one is called Cosmos, which is an easy one to understand. It just takes all these different cryptocurrencies and blockchains they're running on and connects them. All 3 of these cryptos I mentioned can be bought through Coinbase. Super, super easy to do. And this is kind of our short-term play where we believe within 5 to 10 years, these cryptos will have generated enough revenue that we could retire almost solely off of them. If not, we've still got the real estate and the business. If none of that works out, we can still retire at 60 with the stocks. Now, I know I'm going to get a bunch of comments telling me I'm crazy and I'm dumb and I have no financial sense. That's quite possible. If you're one of those people, feel free to leave those comments. I would love to hear if my plan's going to fail here. But this is the current Spencer plan.